Ladies and gentlemen, algorithmic strategy interpretation, how they are interpreting the escalation in the Middle East right now. Is Tesla the most valuable automobile company ever? And Boeing news flow. We're going to share that along with my algorithmic levels and my final thoughts. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. I have so many great things to discuss with you today. If you haven't seen my video, look for Newsbeat Show number 519. I don't think it got out there to a lot of you. By watching this show, you're going to pause the next slide and then hit play after you agree to it. Thank you so much for agreeing to that. So, we have a very nice agenda for you guys here today. We're going to talk about translating the algorithmic code into a language we can all understand. And we have a little bit of an agenda. We're going to discuss Tesla, Boeing news flow, algo levels, as well as our final thoughts. So, when it comes to translating the algorithmic code into a language we understand, this is not going to be your typical C++ class or to learn how to program Java today. No, we're just talking very simplistic things that you could do in the market, things that you could take advantage of by actually just test, trying to just test how these algos react to headlines and information. Now, in modern warfare, not the video game, but in modern warfare, a lot of countries they test each other's radar systems by launching relatively inert attacks and seeing the sort of response. Do jets scramble? Do missile turrets start moving around and whatever? And they try to test the alert system. Well, the beautiful thing is in the market, we could sort of test the modern warfare of the robotic algorithms by just seeing how they react to headlines. Now, if you did not hear the news, Pentagon is 21 minutes ago released that Iran launched more than a dozen ballistic missiles at two Iraqi bases. Um, People are definitely seeing this as a military escalation in the Middle East right now. And right now, none of my sources are confirming any casualties at this moment. But as I get updates, it'll definitely be interesting to see what the market does. Obviously, nobody wants anybody to get hurt, but as traders, we sort of have to just accept the fact that we are just taken along on this roller coaster ride, and no matter what we think or say, isn't going to really have a major effect in that part of the world. But we can capitalize on it, and we can make money on it, and life does indeed go on. And I'm going to show you how I am looking to make money on this. So, if you didn't hear the headline, from earlier, here the spiders just absolutely plunging after hours now, down over $5. I mean, the market is just decimated, absolutely decimated. Again, as per our top out call in the market on the evening of December 23rd, saying I might go up or down a little, we are far below the level of where we called that top, which was just literally a week and a couple days ago when we called out the top of the market. And we're plunging on this headline. So how do you read the algos? Is there a way to read the algos in a situation like this? And as I was telling you guys on the previous show, again, and if you haven't seen Newsbeat Show 519, I think might have somebody forgot to send it out, but definitely look it up because we literally discuss every up move in the market as a potential shorting opportunity. Not that I felt that you really needed to be part of this down move. I think so many traders get caught up in the notion that you have to keep shorting because eventually a top will be put in. And yes, you're absolutely right, but no, you don't have to catch the top. In fact, I am coming into tomorrow with zero shorts. That doesn't mean I'm not going to make a lot of money shorting. So the algorithmic interpretation, really, like if you look at gold, as soon as this headline came out, and we saw this headline actually much earlier, about an hour and 10 minutes ago, and you could just see like the reaction is to buy gold. This is gold after hours right now. GLD, by the way, closed at 147.97. It's at 151.21. You could see USO, which is, again, oil spiking after hours. You're going to see OIH spike a lot higher than where it is now. It's showing it last printed 1384. Again, as per the videos recently, we're talking very, very bullish on oil and going out with some calls. So congratulations if you followed us there. But you could just basically see that if you're oil, if you're gold, if you're assets that, you know, are considered safety assets, you are pretty much going up in value. One of the other things that are going up in value here is, of course, Bitcoin. Everybody gets, excited again when Bitcoin is finally breaking out. We had really just a wonderful, wonderful bottom call there back on December 18th. We called the bottom within, I think we were $3, $2 and change off the dead low all the way here. And I know a lot of Newsbeat Live members are still swinging Bitcoin off that level. Congratulations. Personally, I've never traded a Bitcoin in my entire life. I do GBTC if I need to Bitcoin, like a proxy Bitcoin. But yeah, you basically see, like, I could even show you a 5-minute chart here. As soon as Iran fired these. By the way, I'm hearing just so we're clear, these aren't like arm to arm rocket fires. This isn't somebody sitting there with a rocket propelled grenade launcher or rocket launcher on their shoulder and firing it into a base. This is a ballistic missile. This is a ballistic missile. So I just want to be perfectly, perfectly clear that there are over a dozen, the reports I'm reading, over a dozen ballistic missiles. Literally, as the alerts are coming up and as the sirens are going off, before anything happens, Bitcoin shoots up in value, oil shoots up in value, gold shoots up in value. Now, instead of, a lot of people, a lot of traders I speak to, and they just start giving, sort of opinions on where and what they think should happen and what they wish and things like that. And I tell those traders all the time, that's okay. You know, Nobody wants to see people die. I am pretty sure that, you know, talking for 99.999% of humanity, nobody wants to just see people dead. However, what you want and what you might get can potentially be two different stories. So I implore you that if you're going to be trading during this time, that there's going to be a lot of geopolitical drama around you, whether you like it or not. I mean, these geopolitical dramas, you could try to push them out of the way as much as you can. You could try to ignore them. You could try to siphon them out of your memory as much as you can, but they keep popping up and they keep moving the market. So we really have no choice but to pay attention to them. For me, any pullback in oil is considered bullish. Any pullback in gold is considered bullish. If you are watching Bitcoin, any pullback in Bitcoin will be bullish because what you're seeing is as these reports are being, tweeted out, shared on social media, you have to understand that, like, when you're watching this, these algos are reacting to social media posts. These algos are entwined with social media. So the algorithmic code right now is every time there's an attack, oil and gold shoot up. Oil and gold shoot up. Me, personally, it's about buying gold, it's about buying oil, it's about doing it whatever clever way you want. You want to do call spreads, you want to short puts, you want to just go long common shares. That is my mentality for myself personally in an environment like this. You use any pullback as a buying opportunity from this point forward. Now, why? Why shouldn't, for example, because anything can happen and I wouldn't legally tell you what to do. I would never tell you to buy or sell a security. But why am I saying that's what's right for me? Well, think about it like this. How many of you think the odds of a further strike happening from either side of the table, or any side of the table, from any country in the world, within the Middle East, how many people think there are going to be more attacks anywhere in the Middle East right now? I mean, honestly, maybe you don't. Type in no if you don't. I believe there will be. Do I want it? No! You kidding me? I've gotten all these letters of all these people thanking me for all the donations that I did, and from donating the wheelchairs we donated and all these things, and I'm reading all these beautiful letters, and then I'm watching these horrific headlines, and you know what I'm saying? I could bet on these crazy headlines. I could bet on these psychotic headlines, make money for myself, for my family, and help charity, and make the world a better place. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, based on an unfortunate scenario. So, pretty much everybody in the room: Ken, Amy, Wilson, Kevin, Lee, Brian, Jeff, Keith, Amy, Ricky, Shelby, Active, Dwayne, Kenneth, Ken, Alan, Michael, Bill, Robert, um, Thomas, Pat. All right. So, you get in the picture. Everybody thinks that there's going to be a further attack. Whether or not there's going to be, again, I honestly do have a wood table from IKEA, so I'm knocking on wood. Nobody wants anybody to get hurt. If this market, I think for some people, they can't handle the geopolitical drama. And you know what? It pisses me off too. I don't want to read these headlines. But as the Newsbeat Live Room, and we're going to show you how Boeing Newsflow picked up in why being a Newsbeat Live member today is going to be very valuable for your P&L. But just to end on this note, any pullback in gold, any pullback in oil, any pullback, whether it's USO or OIH or GLD or whatever oil name that you want to trade, there are people who are loading into these things based on our last videos. Again, our last video was not posted, but I will say right now, don't miss out on an opportunity of a lifetime. I I know in the midst of all this drama, I know you probably a lot of people are talking to, people they know, and people are sharing their opinions. This is horrible. We shouldn't have done this. We should have done this. We definitely should have. No, we shouldn't have. Whatever you're listening to, don't let that affect your trading. And I know it does affect trading. At least place yourself in an environment where you're going to be able to capitalize, where you're going to be able to capitalize on this drama. So right now, the bottom line is the robots are tuned in. As soon as there's an attack, they react immediately by buying gold, buying oil. So anytime you get a pullback, you're not going to be able to time the next attack. But if you believe, like anybody I talk to, that there will be military strikes on either side of the table or both sides of the table at whatever targets, the algos are going to react by buying this. The algos are going to react by buying silver. The algos are going to react by buying OIH and a USO. The algos are going to react by even buying the GBTC. Look, GBTC. Oh no, that stopped trading at 4 o'clock. This is not after hours, but believe me, it's going to be higher tomorrow. People are buying these Riot, RIOT, crap crypto company, absolute crap crypto company. Up what, 10% after hours? The bottom line is these names are going to be buys on pullbacks. Don't miss the opportunity. And the trick is to buy them. So how do you buy something if you can't time it? To me, you go out with time value. For me, I'll buy call spreads. Like I can show you right now, like something that I would buy. Let me show you something that I'd buy. I'm going to log in my Street Smart Edge platform. Hopefully it doesn't take a year and a day. And I'll show you an example of like something that I'll buy. So basically, I could start explaining the first steps before my login goes through. Like, you could basically take a certain dollar amount of money you want when you're an option trader, especially. If you're not, you're doing everything through common stock, obviously. And then you don't have any time value issues, but you usually have to lay out, more capital in general, for bigger moves, as a broad generalization. But like for example, let's say for whatever reason in the world, you're like, you know what, Mark, you're right. I'm gonna wait for, GLD, which is popping up here. GLD popping up here. and going up higher on this news, which is again funny because GLD and the market are not inversely correlated. There used to be, I believe, a few years back, 2006, 7, 8, not, maybe even 9, where like gold market goes down, gold and oil go up, and vice versa. It's no longer correlated. It hasn't been for a long time, and I see some old school traders talking about that still, and I'm like, bro, look at your charts, bro, and it's still logging in here. So like, I'll even show you the charts. I just logged in, but let me just, show you the charts here. Like I'll show you a monthly of GLD. I'll show you a monthly of GLD. See that? That's a monthly of GLD. Look at the monthly of the triple Qs. You're telling me that these are inversely correlated? If they were inversely correlated, gold would be at all-time lows. Gold would be at all-time lows, right? Because the market's at all-time highs, right? Or it would be near lows, or much more beaten up. It would look more like silver. So yeah, there is a difference between gold and silver. There is a difference in the markets now, but for whatever reason, the algos are programmed to buy. The algos are programmed to buy. So okay, so let me show you, for example, I just got logged in here. Let me show you, for example, like how I might go um, ahead on an OIH and buy call spread. So first thing, if I don't know how to time it, and this is my preset. You don't have to, you could set in whatever number you want. Just ignore what I have my preset to. Um, like you could go out, for example, to something stupid like April. Let's say you're telling yourself like, all right, I think there's going to be more beef in the Middle East by April, and you're looking at the $14 calls here. What you could also do is you could look at the April like $16 calls or even $15 calls, even the $15 calls. And basically what you're seeing is a $14, $15 calls. You see there's a spread of about 30 cents between them. If you could see that, it's like a 71-cent bid here, a 37-cent bid here. It's about whatever. Let's just call it a 30-cent spread rounded off. You're basically getting paid 3 to 1 on your money for a $14, $15 call spread. And the longer this drama takes to happen, you're not going to get beaten up because you're going to be diminishing the time value on the $15 call that you're short. And when it's ready to move, it's going to rock and roll to the upside. So there are ways that you could take very, very tight risk reward. You could just go straight calls. You could just say, oh, all right, you know what? I want to throw, $2,000 at this. I want to risk $2,000. I'll buy 50 of these $15 calls. And if anything escalates here, these things will go through the roof. Just you have to keep in mind how beaten up. This is a monthly of OIH. This is your oil. This OIH, I kid you not. I kid you not. Think about it like this. It's January. It's January right now, 2020. 2 years ago, this was 29 and a half bucks. 29 and a half bucks. So to think that oil like that $15 is like a far stretch on OIH, to me is baffling. Because if you watch my video yesterday, it seems that everybody that I speak to sort of agrees that oil would be a major target during this warfare. I gave the StarCraft strategy, how when you want to win a StarCraft game, it's a video game that you go after the resource line. The same thing really applies in real life situations. So, looking at oil here, I still have to tell you that I love it. And I love everything about it. And I think there's a very easy way to play it. Okay. I want to talk about the next thing on the radar here today. So we just talked about how you could front run the algos and like translate the algorithmic code into a language we can all understand because they basically just buy oil. Whatever the algos are set for now, they're just basically jumping in oil. Um, so next on our list is Tesla, and this is like to me the epitome of hilarity. And you're looking at Tesla here today. Okay, beautiful all-time highs. By the way, it's getting crushed after hours on everything's getting crushed after hours now with this this headline risk. And, I went a little long overnight as well, and that's not going to be working based on, especially based on this headline. But it's okay. There's going to be a lot of money in the intraday. And I'm telling you right now, like looking at a Tesla, the hilarity of Tesla is it just became the number one most valuable automaker ever. You know what was higher than this? Ford back in 1999, back when I was in the early days of my trading. And I will tell you right now, 81.39 billion for a company that, comparatively to every other major automaker there really does not sell vehicles. I mean, the number of vehicles that, Toyota and Ford and sell are just astronomically higher than Tesla, which is, of course, understandable. But right now, Tesla literally is the most valuable automaker on the planet. Now, I feel this is definitely one of the more controversial names because people are like, Mark, they don't really make money. Should they really be worth this much? And I basically tell these people all the time, like, people who are trying to just sit there and figure out, where these companies should be valued. Because right now at this moment, for every share of Tesla, the company loses $4.77. So it has a negative earnings per share. I mean, this company is not making money overall with their businesses. But they recently opened up a factory in China. And this factory is going to give them access to 1.5 billion people, give or take a couple 100 million. So it's going to basically open up their markets into something huge. I think penetrating the Chinese market is a tremendous accomplishment, a tremendous home run for the company. And even with all that being said, I still think that Tesla, just from a technical standpoint, needs a little bit of a breather. I am not somebody who believes or does not believe in Tesla. I think electric automobiles are great for the environment and extremely harmful for humanity. I find it hilarious how there's not one article there spoken at anywhere talking about the effects of a human sitting on an electric generator able to power an entire vehicle running through your body you know, uh, as if that's, has no side effects, I'm sure. I mean, obviously, in my head, obviously, there's going to be, tremendous amount of lawsuits for Tesla. But look, I like the cars. They look pretty. A lot of my friends drive them. Um, I'll say, congratulations to Tesla. They really did a great job. And for me, I would look to be a buyer as it pulls back to the 21 moving average, which may happen tomorrow with what's happening in the market here. Next thing I want to share with you, very, very important, maybe the most important thing I'm talking about here tonight, is the Boeing news flow today. Now, if you weren't watching Boeing, if you didn't see what Boeing was doing today, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. There was some news flow out on Boeing here today, and Boeing this is a 1 minute chart, just absolutely exploded. Boeing just came out and absolutely exploded. And you might have been sitting there wondering why. Um, Basically, there was unconfirmed reports of activist interest with Berkshire and Hathaway, and a ton of calls went off. And again, this is merger and acquisition activity. Most of it is unconfirmed, by the way. And you have to realize, like, what does that mean, like, unconfirmed? Well, the problem is when you're dealing with merger and acquisitions, the acquiring company and the acquiree don't want to comment because they're legally not allowed to. Most of the comments are not legally allowed to comment on these situations. Most companies don't like to be bothered with them. And if it came out, for example, like, all right, so Berkshire and Hathaway took a stake in the company, if it came out like if Berkshire and Hathaway, when they were asked on CNBC if they did take a stake in Boeing today, when they were like, for example, yes, we did, or no, we didn't, it could have an adverse effect on the shares of the stock. So let's say Boeing, let's make up a scenario here, which could be very true. Let's say Berkshire and Hathaway owned Boeing shares, and they did take a stake in Boeing. If they come out and deny it, their shares of Boeing will plunge, and they don't want to see that. If they confirm it, the shares of Boeing spike higher, and if they wanted to buy more, it's a lot more expensive now. It's sort of a catch-22 when they come out and they try to confirm this. I want to mention that there was unconfirmed rumors for, wow, we were trading these too back in like 2016 that that Amazon was going to buy Whole Foods. That was like unconfirmed rumors, and obviously it was phenomenally true. So, with that being aside, pushing that aside here, um, Boeing just absolutely exploded. If you guys like this sort of early news flow, this is one of the things that the Newsbeat Live Room, one of the things that we specialize at. We specialize at bringing you names like Boeing before they rip up $6, $7, $8 like it did today. And granted, we were calling a lot of breakouts in Boeing. A lot of people did very well in it. But if you like this sort of action, this is a 1 minute chart. No other room on Wall Street will be able to get you this sort of action with the timing in which we offer it. I mean, it's all over Fly on the Wall, it's on CNBC, it's all over, it's legit. But you're not going to hear it anywhere else before the Newsbeat Live Room. And that I can assure you of. That I will absolutely assure you of, that you will not get information like this anywhere. That's what makes our room special. That's one of the things that makes our room very special. That we're always keeping an ear out to Wall Street. We're always watching unusual activity. We're always watching spikes in the market, unusual option activity, news flow, algorithmic analysis. We're trying to combine every powerful aspect of the market. I feel like there are certain traders out there who don't really find an edge because every trading service's edge out there is only based on what you could see on a chart. And it's basically, it turns into the my way or the highway, where this is the setup I like, this is what you go for. I'll mathematically, show you why this works, and haha, it really doesn't. And like, I get it, but if you want to really be a complete trader, you have to take every single aspect into account, just like you would do in every situation in life. You're driving a vehicle even. Do you drive any different if it's a sunny day or if it's snowy outside? And you're like, of course I do. However, when people navigate the markets, too many people, think that 100%, and yes, there is a lot of value behind the charts. I do algorithmic analysis, I do technical analysis, I get it. But I will tell you, like, combining news flow with your trading, you don't have to be a master of timing everything on the chart when you get flow like this, when you get news flow like this. A lot of the analysts came out today, started. There were a lot of upgrades we spoke about this morning: Micron, WDC, FireEye, AMD, Square, Tesla was on our radar. Like, there's a lot of other stuff as well. But I will tell you that even if you're a new trader, you're going to want to see every part of the picture. I feel like almost and I was this trader, by the way, like, who just looked at charts for 2014, for 15 trading years of my life since 2014. I felt I was in a little caged off area where I was able to look at nothing but a chart. And when I finally combined fundamental analysis, news flow, algorithmic analysis, and all these other things into my technical analysis, into my charts, I was able to like see that there was this big, beautiful world out there. And it was life changing for me. But I will tell you right now, the news flow sort of slowed off at the end of December, mid December, early December as well, actually. Pretty much for the whole month of December. And this was like the first real beautiful piece of news flow that came in today on Boeing. And if you want to get, this information by the bottom end of this range, like right over here, before everybody else in the world sees it, there's really only one place you're going to find that, and that's the Newsbeat Live Room. I got more for you. What if What if you're a Newsbeat Live Room? What could you expect? Well, Friday, we're going to be interviewing a high-end executive of a publicly traded company. Now, if you're not a Newsbeat Live member, I promise you, you will be able to watch this entire interview. You'll be able to see it all. However, if you're a Newsbeat Live member, I will be sharing the person I'm talking to prior to the interview and prior to setting up the interview. Newsbeat Live members will get this information prior to the interview um, of the high-end executive of the company. It is one of the names that are in our 2020 report. It's, I just want to point out what happened last time. I want to point out what happened last time when we interviewed Steve Smith. I'll show you just real quick. So we basically interviewed here Steve Smith, Executive Vice President and CFO of Inseego, and that was on August 21st, 2019, as you can see right there. And I just want to show you what Inseego did. Here is August 21st, 2019, right over here. I'll show you, I'll zoom in. Right over here. Look at that. To where it is today. Is that incredible or what? Is that incredible or what? Absolutely amazing. The stock today hit $8.95 after our interview with the CFO. It closed at $4.05. So tomorrow we're going to be talking to, not tomorrow, Friday. We're going to be talking to, again, when I say high-end executive, we're talking either chief executive officer, we're talking chief financial officer, we're talking like the highest top of the company. And we're going to grill them, and we're going to grill them with a Q&A. And we're going to get all the good, juicy information that we can out of them. Melnick is not a softball interviewer. Many people are like this. Melnick, he's going to throw softballs over the plate. No. We're going to ask the hard questions. We're going to ask the questions that we need to know. We're going to look to take advantage of this. So just wanted to share that with you. Algo levels. Here are the algo levels for tomorrow. The market's going to be gapped down massively. Um, don't be surprised to see literally a response happening overnight. Again, we are in crazy times, ladies and gentlemen. Here are tomorrow's algo levels today. Take advantage of them, screenshot them, copy them down. See, my final thoughts, I just want to talk about it, is I've been trading. I'm going on my 21st year as an active intraday trader. I've seen several of these skirmishes and conflicts over the years. And one thing that I always wish I did was try as best as I can to make non-emotional decisions and try to keep my head out of the emotional conflict. And for me, I am a very emotional person. I'll tell you, like, most people are all like Brooklyn tough guy. He has like scars here, he's been slice shot at, whatever. I'm not that tough. Like, I really am not. Like, I was at the dinner table to my wife today in tears. I'm gonna share them maybe tomorrow. I'll share with you all the letters that we got from all the foundations that we made differences to, and they wrote us handwritten letters thanking us for me and the Newsbeat Live Room for all the charity we've given. And I was literally just broken down because when I read something like that, I stop and I think to myself, and I'm like, I have a trading account. I have a family. I have a computer. I have a platform in which I could talk to people. I am so blessed to have all these things around me. And it's kind of funny this time around when I see, you know, beef in the Middle East, so to speak, as I've seen several times, unfortunately, over my life, as many of you have as well. I stop and I look at the situation and say, if I'm able to remove myself emotionally from this and make money in the market, I can make thousands, maybe tens of thousands of lives better. I can make the lives better of myself and my family. I can make the lives better of the members of the Newsbeat Live Room. I can make lives better of the charitable causes in which we donate to. We donate, I don't even remember last year, maybe about 250 charities, I want to say we donated to last year. So we are doing everything we can to make definitely a big difference in the world here. And I almost feel like if you could just try to not get emotionally attached to the headlines and just look at it from more of a logical perspective, I think that you're going to end up making more money this time around. Um, we have earnings season right here. Again, Newsbeat Live members do get free access to all my earnings plays as well. Not only that, you get the Newsbeat Think Tank, which we do on Saturday. Not only that, you get the Newsbeat exclusives, which we do on Sundays. So there is a lot of great content that we have lined up for you guys. Interviews with top executives of companies, exclusive strategy evolution, talking how to change our strategies and evolve them and tweak them for the markets tomorrow. Um, we're just literally trying to encompass every aspect of the market and bring it to you in as a real-time setting as humanly possible. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did enjoy my content, slap the like button. Let me know that you enjoyed what we did here. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.